What's up, everyone? I just got back from Comic-Con, so my voice is going to be a little rough for this episode. I do apologize. Onwards! This week's champion trends feature Rengar, Vayne, Lucian, Corki, Gragas, and Lulu. I'm Lindsay Geektron with ZAM Network, and this is LolKing's League Trends. Let's dive into Summoner's Rift. This week, the champs who have increased pick rates include Lucian, Ahri, Rengar, Nidalee, and Tristana. The Pride Master is climbing his way back to the cool kids table, this time in the jungle role. Rengar's clearing power isn't spectacular, especially pre-6. What makes this guy so viable in the jungle are his ganking and dueling abilities, so when this kitty lands an ability, he builds up ferocity. At 5 stacks, he's able to use his empowered abilities, which basically means he can outduel nearly anyone. Where he runs into trouble, however, is if he's caught without any stacks. Since he has no reliable escape, he either has to fight and hope for the best, or turn tail and run away. But that's my strategy. His ultimate, Thrill of the Hunt, allows him to stealth and stalk enemy champions, which is kinda terrifying. He also builds ferocity while stealthed, which means that if you start with 5 stacks, you can build 10 post-ulti and then use 2 empowered abilities instead of 1. For example, 2 empowered bolus strikes snare for 3.5 seconds, which is more than enough time to murder someone. Pair Rengar up with Orianna's Shockwave or Lulu's Wild Growth for some wombo combo fun, and look for him showing up more often on the Rift. Decreases in pick rate this week include Caitlyn, Vayne, Ezreal, Renekton, and Lee Sin. With the current meta focusing so heavily on hyper carries like Trist and Kog'Maw, Vayne seems to have been passed over. Her laning phase is weak mainly because of her short range and 0 wave clear. Just like me in high school, Vayne is easily bullied around. Pit her against Caitlyn's 650 range, for example, and she simply cannot farm. Give her a board cover and you'll see Vayne topside all by herself, split pushing like a boss. But in this teleport top lane meta, if you're going to split push, you're going to need teleport as well. And all that is even more risky if the enemy top laner is of the AP mage variety. See, Vayne can kite bruisers and chip away at them with her percentage health true damage. Champs like Gragas simply overpower the Night Hunter and her short range. Man, that's gotta suck. This week, the increases in win rates list see Urgot up first, followed by Kennen, Lucian, Singed, and Fiora. Nope, still not talking about Urgot. So remember when everyone said Lucian got nerfed, and then after the patch his win rate unexpectedly went up? Well, evidently the changes to the Purifier turned out to be more like buffs. In spite of the reduction of his range, his base movement speed, attack damage, and health were all increased. His Piercing Light now does the full damage to minions instead of the previous 75%. And with the reduced mana cost, he's able to clear waves much more efficiently. The biggest change, however, was to his mobility, Relentless Pursuit. Instead of a kill resetting his E, the cooldown is reduced by 1 second for each of Lightslinger's strikes. Every hit on a champion reduces it by 2 seconds. Lucian's ability to combo up his abilities means he can use Relentless Pursuit repeatedly in a very small window. Even though the range nerf did have an impact, the greater mobility he gained more than makes up for it. The top decreases in win rate this week are Kassadin, Galio, Cho'Gath, Corki, and Graves. See, it's all Bloodthirster's fault. Corki is not your typical auto-attack focused carry. He's an attack damage caster, which explains why Triforce and Bloodthirster once worked so well on him. The patch changed how Bloodthirster worked, leaving some players to build a Bork or IE instead, both of which scale fairly well with a Triforce. Sorc Shoes adds some much needed magic pen, which of course increases his ability's effectiveness. His early burst and mobility means he's one of the stronger laners in the meta. Corki works particularly well in poke and siege compositions. With his rockets he can poke down the enemy team, while that Triforce helps to take down towers with alarming speed. Increasing bans for Trist and Kog'Maw means that we'll be seeing more of the daring Bombardier flying around the Rift. Increase in ban rate this week have Lucian up nearly 30% from last week. Gragas, Nidalee, Tristana, and Morgana follow up. Talk about Mr. Gragas' wild ride, he's been all over this meta, going from a strong mid laner to possibly one of the strongest top laners in the game. Since his mid laner days, the Rabble Rouser has had more CC added to his kit. Rod of Ages can bring Gragas tankiness, which works well with Happy Hour's 4% max health restoration after using an ability. Generally speaking, his wave clear, sustain, easy gank setup, and CC are all ban-worthy causes. Add in some teleport for some good measure, and he's just ridiculous. we're going to be seeing a lot more of this guy drinking his way through your games. Finally, the decreases in ban rates include Jax, Kayle, Lee Sin, Kassadin, and Lulu. Lulu went from being the most contested mid laner to a very strong top laner, all the while still being a viable support. Previous nerfs shifted her out of mid, and now it's her poke and wave clear that makes top lane Lulu so strong. To be honest, her damage isn't that great, it's her scaling utility that works for her, and that utility allows the jungler to go more damage. So she basically grows tanks with wild growth. She synergizes well with Yasuo, as she can provide the knockup he needs to use his ultimate. Since Lulu has so much poke and wave clear, she's best left to split pushing. The Face Sorceress is not going anywhere for a while. Zippy! And that does it for this week's show. Please be sure to check back every week for the latest League of Legends picks, bans, and win rates. Don't forget to like and comment below if you enjoyed this video, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel, LolKing.net, for more great content. I'm Lindsay Geektron. You can follow me on Twitch at Lindsay Geektron. Thanks everyone so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week. The cheese is real.